Hi friends! Welcome back to the Maker Bee podcast. I have no clue what episode it is. I don't even know what the day is, but I know that we're here and we're filming and we're gonna have a good time doing it. I have a lot of stuff to show you, so buckle in, cast on. We're gonna have some fun together. Yeah, it's kind of like a weird cloudy day here, but it's great light for filming, so I thought I would hop on and film. You'll notice we're a little bit closer than we were last time, but I felt like I couldn't show you colors and other good stuff last time. So, colors of yarn, that is. I couldn't show you colors of yarn, I couldn't show you all that good stuff. So, we're up close and personal, so I can show you, the nuances of my knitting life. Very important. Get a close lens, for sure. Okay. Anyways. Oh, if you're new here, hi, I'm Bee. She, they. And I knit a lot, and I do other stuff sometimes, but I mostly knit. And that's what I got to share with you. So let's dive into my acquisitions. Also, if you're new here, we do things opposite. We do acquisitions, works in progress, and then, finished objects, big finale. I got a lot to show you today, so let's do it. So my last video I posted was my Make 9 / I don't know, I think I meant Make 20 at this point for 2022. And I asked a few questions about what I should make with certain things, and everyone was saying with bulky yarn I should make the Ursa by Chako and Slick, or something by Brandy, I can't remember their last name, but they're a designer as well. And I know both of those designers very well, and I do not like the Ursa, and I do not like the designer Brandy's patterns very much. Maybe there's something that I haven't seen yet, so I will go back and look, but I don't like the Ursa. So I have the pattern, I've tried the pattern, I didn't like the way it fit me, and that's okay. I like a lot of Jackson's other patterns, so it's all good. But that one's not for me. But if you have any recommendations for bulky yarn that are not those two people and are size inclusive and fit someone who actually has boobs, please let me know. Thank you so much. The other thing I asked was what base color I should use for my my Crux cardigan, which I had so excited about the yarn for, and then not realize what I was going to do for the base color. And I was gonna do like a basic kind of like caramel-y, not caramel, like a latte kind of color. But instead, I'm very excited about it. I didn't find it actually, my mom found it. My mother, who is lovely, but not into knitting at all, at the yarn store. My mom found these, and it's like, I don't know if you can tell. Wow, look how much better that lighting is. Amazing. The cat is acting up behind us, just so you know. But this is like a gray purple, kind of like if you put a lilac in the sun and they got sun bleached, that's the color this is. It is, the colors, it's by Jody Long, it's Alba, and it's merino and alpaca. So it's 50% wool, 25% alpaca, 25% viscose. And originally I was like, I do not want to fuck with viscose. I don't like that sort of stuff in my fiber. But then, the color's called Blush, but I definitely see it's more purple. Way more purple, what the color says. But anyways, viscose, oh my god. Once again, my ADHD meds are not kicking in quite yet. It took them like 2 minutes ago, so towards the end of this video, we'll be much more organized, but for now, we gotta wait for the meds to kick in. Anyways, the viscose content in this, I originally was pretty resistant to, but this Crux cardigan that I'm going to make, I'm really hoping will become like a lifetime piece that I can pass on to my kids. And speaking of lifetime pieces, because I always forget to do this at the top of the show, I'm currently wearing my Ember sweater. This is my favorite thing I've ever knit. It is the most intense thing I've ever knit. It was the most fun. It took like 4 months, I think, of my time. I'm going to show you the sleeves. I modded the sleeves a little bit because I had 4 single skeins of yarn that I wanted to work with all together. I didn't want to use up too of anything. I had a special yarn pack from a friend that he bought me, like, hi Dan, if you're watching, he bought me a single of each color from a yarn pack, and so I wanted to use a single. I wanted to use all the yarns in one thing, so it could be special. So the Ember sweater, I actually finished it this time last year, but yeah, it is a lifetime piece, and this will be a gift to hopefully a kid or a godchild or something one day. But for now, I wear it all the time. It is the best thing about it is that it has color work, it has lace, and it has very tiny cables, so you can do everything all in one go. And I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for a lifetime piece, you know? Anyway, my Crux cardigan hopefully will also be a lifetime piece, so the viscose will hopefully allow it to last a bit longer than if it was just wool or alpaca. And also for acquisitions, only one other thing, I got this big hunk of roving. Look how cute this is. Can you see it? It's all mangled. And if you're wondering, B, does this mean you're going to try to do spinning? The answer is yes. I have a drop spindle somewhere. And it was beautiful. It's hand carved. I'll show that next time when I find it. But I left it at my mom's house. And you know, I don't know if you guys hang out with your moms as much as I do, but my mom loves to throw things away. So if something's not being used for 5 seconds, it gets tossed in the trash bin or the donate pile, yada, yada, yada. So this drop spindle is somewhere in the house, hopefully, this beautiful hand-carved drop spindle, but it may have been returned to nature via a landfill because she tosses everything, and it was there for more than 5 days. So, and she didn't know what it was, so it could be anywhere at this point. So please cross your fingers for me, say a prayer if that's your thing. Please help me get my drop spindle back. I don't know where it is. But yeah, so a little stressful. But I have the roving for it. I don't know what type of roving this is. It's a little soft, a little scratchy, salt and sweet, you know, like, I don't know. All you spinners out there, it's a little scratchy, a little soft, and I know it's not the main one. It's maybe the one down from the main one. I don't know. When I was at the yarn store buying it, it was the one there in where I live, the province I live in. There's a really nice yarn store. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. It's called Gasper Valley Fibres. I love it. And the person who was working was like, "Okay, you've never spun before. You're gonna be really bad at it. You're gonna be awful." I was like, "Cool. Like, I don't have to be good at everything. I can be bad at stuff. That's no stress." And she's like, "No, seriously, you're gonna be really awful at this, and you're gonna really have to like really hard practice." And I was like, "That's okay. Like, I'm not used to being good at things in the beginning. Like, that's not normal for me." And yeah, she was really persistent. She said, "You are gonna be awful at this. You're gonna be terrible. You're gonna like fail constantly, forever and always." Here comes the cat. Here comes the boy. Hello, boy. Come say hi. Ellie, come here. Oh, he's getting comfy. You getting comfy, Bubba? Oh, he's gonna relax right there. He's with us, but he doesn't want to say hi. He's shy. I'm gonna give him the roving as a pillow or a blanket. Here you go, Bub. Alright, so those are things that I have recently brought into my life, and my phone is blowing up in my back pocket, so I'm gonna do a little cut right here. And we're back. Hi. So now we're gonna do works in progress, what I'm working on right now. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm about to show you a bunch of tubes. And that's because I've cast off a lot of stuff recently. I got 4 finished objects. They're little, but they're still finished objects to show you. So I've got a bunch of tubes to show you for my works in progress. 2 of them are cast-ons that are from my Make 9, so I am on track. I'm doing well. Thank you. But first of all, I'm going to show you, socks first, because I am in love. I'm in love with this sock. This is the Mermaid Avenue sock by Summer Lee Knits. The yarn for this is Secret Garden Yarn Club from Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. I don't know if you can see all my mistakes in there. Can you? There's a lot of mistakes. Can you find them? Yeah, this is like, it's been such a fun project. It's a new stitch for me. Very, very fun. It wasn't too hard to memorize, but it's slow going. The instructions said either a 3-inch long or 6-inch, depending on how long you want your sock. This is 5 inches because I don't know. You know when you're, sometimes I'm like, okay, I have to do it this way, have to do the hardest way because it's the, most challenging, best way. I'm a fiber person, like I'm a knitter, I'm a crafter, like I need to make these things. But it's like, no one cares if my socks are 6 inches or 5 inches. And then why do I feel guilty when I get lazy? Lazy, it's not lazy. When I stop knitting at 5 inches and don't go to 6. And then I'm guilty. I'm like, what's the point of that? Like, well, I'm supposed to be enjoying myself. Why am I stressing myself out? So anyways, I said, you know what? To shit with that, I'm gonna enjoy making what I'm gonna make. And that's grand, right? So I did 5 inches for the cuff. I went full rebel. Like I went, rebel here. And I made 5 inches and not 6. And that was a 1-minute rant about how I have the cuff and ensure that it should be. That's very funny. But this colorway, oh my gosh. I wish this was a permanent one. Through the Wardrobe Yarn Co. has a bunch of like these beautiful pastels. So it does that really, really well. And actually she has a pre-order for a pastel-y sock set coming up. And I might buy it even though I shouldn't. But I really like it because look how pretty these colors are together. I was not sure about this contrast color for this in the beginning, but I love it more than anything. And does that not say mermaid socks to you? It says, when I opened it up, I was like, I know I have to do mermaid socks. I think because do you know Tiara of the Love Stitch? The Love Stitch, right? Yes. Hi, Tiara. Hope I got that right. She was making these, and her stitch count was all wonky, or it was too big or too small, and I can't remember what the exact problem was, but she was talking about it in her podcast like a year ago. But when I was making this, you can see that it's a little bit bigger right here, and then it gets smaller. And that's because I tightened up my stitches right quick because it was way too big in the beginning. The stitch count is higher than an average sock by Summerly Knits because the stitch pattern shrinks the sock to but I was doing it really loose. So I tightened it up, and it seems to be okay now. I do not frog. I like my mistakes. It's all good. So that's one tube to show you. Beautiful contrast color. I'm loving this project. It's been very fun. My second tube that I will show you is a sleeve. You look how sturdy this sleeve is. It is like so tough. It's almost like a hard surface, like self-sustaining tube or something. I don't know. You can see there's a small amount of color work on the very top here. And not the top, the bottom. I don't know. This is the Wallflower Pullover by the Petite Knitter, and I am really enjoying the pattern. I'm not enjoying the wool so much. I wanted to use this wool because it's regionally sourced. So it's handmaiden or fleece artist. I get them confused so often because they're owned by the same person. So handmaiden, fleece artist, it's all the same thing. But regionally sourced wool is such an odd concept because it's kind of like saying, oh, it's sustainable. It's like, okay, it's like a buzzword, but like, what does it mean? So I'm not really sure what regionally sourced wool, what's the region? Is it, I don't know. Anyways, I like the wool. I like how scratchy, you can feel how oily it is. The lanolin's there. You can feel it's like really rustic. And you can feel the bits. There's the amount of hay in this thing is wild. But the gauge for it is supposed to be on a 5mm needle. This is a 6mm needle, and it's still the tightest thing I've ever made in my life. I won't frog it because I'm gonna enjoy having a really sturdy garment, I think, at the end of it. But it's interesting. I was like, sometimes their fine details, while I love handmaiden fleece artists, sometimes their fine details can be a little frustrating. And I'll talk about that later, actually, with some colors. But the pattern is bottom up, which I've only knit twice before, making my Aqua Marlene and Aqua Marlite. And I don't love bottom up stuff. But What that does mean is that I'm getting my sleeves out of the way first. I'm getting that done so I don't have to think about it when I join or when I'm done the body. So the body's like a little treat after my sleeves, and I do wish I could do that more often with like bottom down raglans, but there's no point to it. So these are that's my one sleeve that I have. And it's super sturdy. But yeah, that's that guy. Not much else to say about this one. Oh, the other thing is the contrast color. I dyed the contrast color in the summer, and I love it. Here in McMonaghy, we have this company called Scotsburn, and they're a dairy company, but they have this ice cream called Moon Mist. And Moon Mist is like, it's like, there's like blueberry, pineapple, banana, like all of these like summer fruit things, but it looks like this. But the ice cream looks literally like this. So it's called Moon Mist, but it's for me only because, I don't know. I love dyeing wool. I wish that, I think about like, you know, the want to sell everything you do. And I have thought about like dyeing wool and like making a small wool company, like a yarn company, indie dyer company kind of thing. But I'm just new to it, and I'm really cognizant of that thing where people, especially right now, I find people try something out one time or two times, and all of a sudden they're selling the things that they're making. You're seeing that with like crochet a lot right now. Everyone's selling their crochet stuff. Everyone's selling their knits. But it's like, I've been doing this for 6 months, so I'm not ready to sell anything yet. But maybe one day, because that's the only way to financially sustain it, right? Like, you have to dye in big batches, and I can't work through that much yarn. But I'm working through my second batch pretty slowly, but maybe one day I will sell them. But I don't want to be that asshole that just thinks I'm an expert the second I start something. I'm trial and error, but this was a success. And that's going to be the body. Oh, the other thing about the Wallflower Pullover, the body, it's the belly that has all of the color work, which I really like. So I'm going to use that for that. Bing, bang, bop. Ellie's watching me. Come here, Bubba. Come here. Oh, I'm going to pick him up and show you this. Quick break in the whip show off to show off my son. His belly's really big belly boy. What do you see? I'm right by our porch, not porch, our deck, I guess. I live on the attic, and we have a little deck, which I'm immensely grateful for. Oh my god. But there's a cat that lives next door. Sometimes she comes and climbs up the fire escape on the back and on the roof all the way to the front of the house onto the porch, and she'll sit and stare at him. And because her name is Ricky Bobby as well, her owner Sam lives next door, and the cat Ricky Bobby is very sweet. But Ricky Bobby will sit at she's a danger cat. She'll climb. We live on the third floor of a house, right? We're in the attic of a house, so it's very high up. But it's been snowing for the last little while, so she has to come up to say hi. And this happens every year. She won't come in the summer, yada yada yada. She'll come in the summer, won't come in the winter, and he misses her. So he'll sit by the door and just like stare. It's very sweet. It's very cute. I love him. We've got two of the whips to show you. One is knitting. One is, what's this? We'll find out soon. Things are gonna fall. One sec. Throwing things. Oh, fell anyways. Okay, so I cast this on last night, and it's gonna be a cowl, but right now it's not much. It's a little tube. I don't know if you can see what it is, but it is a bubble stitch cowl. I really wanted to make Stephen West's bubble cowl pattern, but I did not like how it went vertical. Nope, horizontal and wrapped around. Or there's a hood option, which I also did not like. So I designed my own. I made my own situation. The cat's being bad. I'm sorry if you can hear him. He's eating the spider plant. But the colors in this are so fun. I thought they would look nice striped, but I didn't want a classic stripe. So I did a little cast on and then just rows of bubbles. And I'm really proud of it, actually. Like, I don't do my own stuff a lot of the time, mostly because I'm not interested in putting a whole lot of brain work into things, but I am making a pattern that I'm pretty proud of, and it might end up being my second pattern that I'll release, which is kind of exciting. I liked the West idea, but this is very different than what he was doing, and I like mine more, which is probably because it's mine, and that's okay, right? We can like our stuff. But I love, so the colors, this one is a lichen and lace color. I believe the name of it is Citron. I use it as some of the contrast color in my Chicory sweater. And then also, this is from a pack from Handmaiden. It's originally 5 colors, but I used the contrast color for a pack in Handmaiden because I already had it. A contrast color for my Chicory sweater. Anyways, this is 4 of the colors that are left, and there's only, I think, 87 meters of each color, but this is, I think, only uses like 10 meters per diddle. It's kind of exciting, so I can do a pretty thick amount. I'll do probably 3 pattern repeats, 2, I'll probably do 3 pattern repeats. But the colors, so the thing with Handmaiden and Fleece Artist is that because they pop out so much stuff, they don't name anything. So I think 2 of these colors were named out of all of them, and I was so upset, I was so annoyed, because 2 of the colors were named. So I can tell you that one of them is Orchid, one of them is Plum. I believe this is Orchid, and I believe this is Plum, but they didn't name the other ones. So it's the Casbah pack from them. Yeah, and this is just Lichen and Lace Citron DK. The color of Citron is beautiful. I love Lichen and Lace's stuff. I think it's really pretty, and for me it always holds up really well. But this yarn pack was really expensive, and I was kind of saving it for something special. And in my mind, accessories have never been special. Like, it's kind of like, it's just an accessory, blah, blah, blah. But the more that I think about it, and I've just knit a bunch of accessories, you're going to see, but the more that I think about it, I think that if you're going to make if you have yarn you're saving for something special, accessories are the best way to go because you can wear them the most. You know, you wear a sweater, you can't wear a sweater more than once a week. People will notice. No, they won't, but you know what I mean, right? Like, I wear a scarf out every single day. I wear my hat out every single day. So that's the point, right? Is you want to be able to wear as much as possible these special items. So I thought this was going to be really special, and I'm pretty happy with it. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked on it. So this is what I'm making. And I'll be releasing it. Maybe never, but maybe I will if there's people interested. I think people are really interested in the colors of it. I don't know if they're necessarily interested in the actual pattern, but it's super fun. The bubble stitch is super fun. I learned it for knitting Jordana. If you're watching this, I'm so sorry if I am Canadian-sizing your name constantly by calling you Jordana. Maybe it's Jordana. But Jordana's pattern, the Aphroditity socks, which you'll see in a second because I finished them. But yeah, I'm stoked on this. I love this. And I cast on last night. This is all last night in the morning. I got super zooted last night, and I watched High School Musical, and I ordered Domino's pizza because I haven't had takeout in forever, and I just knit this, and it was really fun. And I hope you're having fun right now knitting or doing whatever you're doing. And so the last whip I have to show you is not actually knitting, and it's super clunky and super janky. So I may put a new video over this while I show you, but I may not. But this is my new craft. It is a rag rug. It's on a really big frame. It's almost as tall as I am, so I can't show you the whole thing. But I'm currently making a beautiful rug. It's all with scraps. So these are all bed sheets, cotton. We have bed sheets. The purple is not cotton, and I found that out too late, but I'm still using it. And it's been super fun to learn a new craft. This is a heritage craft for me, so people who look like me, who act like me and have my genes, were making these in Cape Breton a very long time ago, which is where I'm from. So it's very nice to be able to do a heritage craft, right? Like reclaiming those parts of our heritage is so special. I'm a heritage knitter, I like to say, because my aunt is a knitter, like a really good knitter, and she taught me how to knit. And then my other aunt, who is not technically family, but is my aunt for sure, also knits. So I have knitting in my blood, and I got this thing in my blood, and it's a huge, you would have seen it on my Instagram. But I'm loving the colors I chose. These are vintage bed sheets, but not usable ones. They all had stains or splotches. I have found the work on this to be really slow going, much more slow than I'm used to, just because it's so hard on my wrists, and my wrists are already like beyond fucked from knitting forever and ever. So I have to go really slow when I do it because I can do 2 rows and my wrist hurts super bad. But yeah, I'm making a mat, and hopefully it will be on our, it could be anywhere in our house, but I'm going to make a bunch of these. I really want to make the ones that fit on individual stairs because I thought that would be quite nice. But yeah, I really love this craft, and you'll hopefully see a finished object next time around, but we'll see. Of course, we'll see. I'm going to slide this back in here really quick. There we go. Okay, so those are my whips. That's what I've been working on. I've been doing a lot of audiobooks while knitting recently. This is really embarrassing. It's actually really funny, so it's fine. But I have refinished all the Twilight series in the last month and a half. I read them all over Christmas. I listened to them all over Christmas. That's reading. A book's a book. They're as bad as you remember. They're terrible. Oh my god. But it's like, it's like comfort watching or like hate watching something. It's like you're just used to it. It's comfy. It's easy. It's problematic and awful, but it still feels really good, right? So yeah, I've been listening to that. I listened to Alan Doyle. He is the lead singer of Great Big Sea, which is a band from Newfoundland. And I've been really listening to his audiobooks as well because they're narrated in his voice, which is a Newfoundland accent, obviously. And I've been listening to a lot of Stuart McLean, and I just love Stuart McLean. I'm reading one of Stuart McLean's books right now, which was lent to me by a really nice customer at the Has-Been. If you don't know who Stuart McLean is, I would 100% recommend looking up The Vinyl Cafe. It's on podcasts on Apple Music. I'm not using Spotify right now. It's on Spotify as well. But The Vinyl Cafe, Stuart McLean used to go to small communities in Canada, and he would tell stories about those small communities. And a lot of it hasn't aged well, but a lot of it is still heartwarming and like reminiscent of days with more community and like a focus on small towns, which I love in general. But they're not heavy, which is so nice, and they're usually very funny. And he has 10 episodes up. I'd really recommend the Campbell River episode, or any small town you've been to, because it's really nice to just like go through and listen. And I've been watching a lot of TV. I've been watching awful TV. I'm watching Gilmore Girls again. Me and Zoe have been watching that. I've watched Selling Tampa. Have you guys watched Selling Tampa? It's like Selling Sunset, but so much less insufferable. The women on there are much more interesting and much more talented than the women on Selling Sunset. Women on Selling Sunset also talented, for sure. But they're just more professional, better at their jobs, and the drama is actually real. They don't just make it up, which is nice. I like that. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for what I've been consuming media-wise. If you have any recommendations for really gripping podcasts, like true crime, that aren't violent, so I'm talking like money laundering, I'm talking catfish, that sort of stuff, I'd be really into those suggestions if you have them. Anyways, back to knitting. Sorry, I went a little tangent there. Here are my finished objects. I finished so many things this month. They're all accessories, but I'm really happy with what happened. And yeah, I made so much stuff. Oh, side note, you'll notice that my sea glass tee and my Ripple bralette, if you watched the last episode, Ripple crop top, are both on hold. Sea glass tee is pretty intensive, better for summer knitting, I think. I'm going to wait for a little while to make that. And then my Ripple crop top, I'm hoping, Zoe and I, my girlfriend and I are hoping to go to Montreal in the next month or so. It's been, like, we're not going to be seeing anybody or doing anything, but like, yeah, it's been a really hard time, and we need something to look forward to. And we haven't confirmed 100% that we're going to go. But if we have our boosters and the cases are as bad here as they are there, we might go. I don't know. But anyways, if we go to Montreal, I want to bring my Ripple crop top there because it takes forever to knit, and I don't want to carry more than one project when I go, so I'm going to bring the one project. And hopefully it will take me 4 days to make. Who knows if it'll take that long because it'll be on planes and stuff like that, but that's why they're not there. Anyways, my finished objects. First off, Gr8 Gingham Hat, Jessie made designs. I tested this bad boy. It's a secret test. I hate secret tests. I always do this where I'll say, I'm never going to do a secret test ever again. And then someone says, hey, do you want to do a secret test? And then I say, yes, please. It's so cute. I'll do the secret test. But I hated hiding this. It is the Gr8 Gingham Hat. It's in Palette by Knitpicks. The exact colors, I think, are fuchsia and blush. I hate this yarn, but I also kind of appreciate it because it's made this whole thing with $7. $7 of my money to make this whole thing. That's pretty good. And there's leftover. I can make another one for the same amount of money. So I could have 2 for $7, which is pretty good. So a really good bang for your buck. I originally bought the palette yarn because I was going to make a Hello for My Colors crop with it, my test. But then I found yarn that I liked more for that. So I had all these palette colors, didn't know what to do with them. But then this test came along and it was a perfect fit. I liked making this pattern. I don't think I'll make it again. Each color work, usually color work is very like potato chippy for me. Like I really want to make, I have to keep going, you know, like you finish one thing, you want to do another one, you want to do another one. But I didn't find that with this. It was a bit of a slog for me. And I think that's because I put a time crunch on it for myself because I had 2 other tests to finish by the end of the month anyways. So that could be it for sure. But I like the fit of this hat quite a bit. I haven't made a hat that fits over my ears because they're not very fashionable in a very long time. But this fits over my ears, keeps my whole head warm. And then obviously the color work makes everything double warm. There's options for a provisional cast on, like double edge. There's a fold over ribbing, or you can do just like a single rib. I chose the fold over rib because I like the look of it better. I think single rib looks like lazy, but also that's just me, and I never say that about anyone else's work, I just say that about mine, so that's always how it goes, right? But yeah, I would not make this again, but I really enjoyed making it the first time. And it's super fast. I think it's a really good idea to make a Gr8 Gingham hat before you choose to make the gingham sweater, because then you can decide if you like making the pattern or not. And it's all up to you, which I think is a really good idea. So I'd recommend making one of these before you make your sweater because I was convinced I was going to make one of the Gr8 Gingham sweaters. And then I realized that the stitch pattern or the colorwork pattern wasn't my favorite. So I would do this first because then you get a head out of it. It's like a jumbo swatch. You know, it's like you're doing a swatch, but it's 10 times better. So that's my first one of the month. And then I also used Palette to make these. These are the Underwing Mitts. Now, this is like the most intricate color work I've ever done. It was so much fun. I finished the first one pretty much in a day, mostly because Zoe was kind enough to cook all my meals that day. So I didn't even get out to eat. It was a snowstorm. So I got to make the beautiful mittens. And then the other one I didn't cast on for another week or so because I had to finish my test, one of my tests. But the purple blue, kind of dark periwinkle color is Palette as well, which I was also going to use with the Hello for My Colors crop. But the background color, I don't know if you can see, there's little speckles in it. Maybe you can't see, I don't know. But that was me. I dyed that. I was very proud of it. Once again, I was saving for a project. Turns out accessories are the best project to save yarn for because you wear it all the time. And it was a really fun knit. I wouldn't make these exact ones again, but I would 100% make very similar ones from the same designer. Oh, you'll notice that, so most Underwing mitts have a contrast color under the wing. That's kind of the point of the underwing. I didn't choose to put a contrast color in for this one because when I get bored of them, I plan on like adding the contrast color to kind of rejig. the way you gotta do with sustainable fashion, right? Is that when you get bored of your clothes, you gotta do something to make you like them more. So I know that I'll add a hot pink like duplicate stitch under the wing for the next, when I get bored. Probably next winter I'll probably add the duplicate stitch because I'll feel better about it. But I thought that's a really good way to re-enjoy something later on. And then other finished objects. I've got my Aphroditity socks all done. I can't remember. I don't think I had these finished last time because they weren't. I had one on the sock blocker, but these are Aphroditity socks by Jordana Goth. These guys are out. They're ready to play. They're ready for you to purchase, and you should, because these are a fun pattern. The body with the boobs. Like, come on, that's so fun. That's where I learned the bubble stitch from. That's what inspired me to make that cowl. I just love this pattern. It was really fun. I loved testing for Jordana. I thought that she was very professional with her first test, I think, second test. Yeah, and I loved making them. Oh, the yarn is Dock by Botanical Fibres. Great yarn. Would use again. I like the nylon content in it. But I loved making those. Just kind of a fun riff on your regular vanilla sock, right? Add a little something, something. And they're not hard at all. I'd recommend for beginners for sure. My last whip, the final whip is, not whip, finished object, is the Chako vest by KIYOMI BURGIN. You will notice that I finished my Cordy sweater last time and I was like, wow, I love this designer so much. Everything that she has to make is super cool. And then she put out a testing call and I said, okay, hey bestie, let me in. And she let me in. So here is my finished Chako vest. So, no. I really like the details in this one. You can see how the line goes all the way up the sleeve here, all the way up there. And then you got a little button. You can see my little button there for one of my dresses. It's the bottom button for one of my dresses that has buttons all the way down that I never button up. So I just took the button off, put it on this one. I love the collar. This whole thing was one skein of Zambezi by Handmaiden. It is 30% silk, 70% mohair, and one skein. So it's 500 meters for a skein. It's 500 meters a skein, and each skein is $43, which I think is a fantastic price for the amount of yarn you get. Like 43 bucks for the whole sweater. And I have some left over that I'm going to use for a contrast color in something else that I have leftovers from. Great price, very soft. I'm very, very happy with this. Yeah, the test was fun. There was a few mistakes in the test, but everyone else did faster than I did, so I didn't have to come across any of them, which is always fun. And did you ever make something by a designer, and you just know they're professional, right? Like, you know, there's some things like this, the way that the stitch count is done, the way that there are certain increases and decreases in certain places, you know this person knows what they're doing, you know, they've done this before, and you're like in the right hands, you know? The one mod I did make was I cropped mine more than it should be. I have a pretty short torso, and so super cropped on me is cropped, and then cropped is almost full body length. My torso is weirdly short. I'm like an average height. I'm not average, I'm 5'4", it's like below average. But I have very long legs and a very short torso. So this guy, for me, is like a little bit, it looks really cropped, it's not that cropped on me. But yeah, I really enjoyed making this, and I really hope that the pattern takes off, because I think KIYOMI did a fantastic job with this. And I'm gonna wear it all the time. I've knit a few vests, and I just did not like them. I made a few tested, I tested a few of them, and they just weren't right for me. Maybe for my body, or I don't know, just like wasn't vibing. It might have been the color too. I love the color on this. The glow it has is beautiful. Yeah, I think this one's the one that's gonna stick. I've got a whole outfit planned. I haven't posted finished object photos yet, because I haven't decided if I'm gonna block it properly or you just steam block it. Because there's not a whole lot that needs to be blocked out from it, as you can see, but the collar has to be trained down. So that might be my, also I don't want it to stretch at all. So I might train the collar down with some steam, but that's about it. Yeah, and that's the whole shebang here, folks. I can't believe I showed you everything. Wow. Next podcast will be soon, hopefully. I'm working on a lot of stuff. I'm knitting very fast these days. I'm really enjoying making stuff. It's probably the weather, the icky inside weather, but I am loving making right now. I am doing some sewing right now as well, which I do sometimes on and off. I mostly just mend stuff, but I'm excited to do some sewing. Maybe I'll show you some of that next time. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, okay? Like, I really appreciate it. And I hope you had fun. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I always enjoy it. And I hope you got some rosin on whatever you're making. Thanks for stopping by. And bye-bye. Bye.